Finally, a cheesecake that does not intimidate. You guys can make this. I know you can. Whether you want it plain or whether you want to dress it up with strawberries and a little melted jam, it's up to you. It's gorgeous.
Let's preheat our oven, 350, and get it started while we're making up our cheesecake. First, we're going to make a crust, and we're going to use honey-made graham crackers. And I like the kind that are packaged in stacks. There's 6 of them in here, and we're going to use 2 for this. You can do this in a food processor, or you can do it in a bag, Ziploc bag, and beat it to death. But I tell you, this little ninja thing is the coolest little thing. We're going to show you how it crushes them up. Y'all watch this. Now that's what you want right there. There we go. And we're going to use about 1 1/4 cups. And we'll check this. For those of you that weigh out your measurements, it equaled out about 120, 125 grams on the scale. Next, I'm putting 3 tablespoons of sugar in with the graham cracker crumbs. And then we're going to measure 5 tablespoons of melted butter. And so that is 1. I just use a fork to mix it all until it's even consistency. Blend, blend, blend. And that's what we end up. It almost looks like brown sugar, doesn't it? But it will hold. If when you press it down, it will form and press into a moldable shape. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to lightly spray a 9-inch springform pan with Pam, and then we're going to press this down in the bottom of it.
If you're going to transfer it, I'd line it with parchment paper.
Now, after you get it distributed evenly, you can take the back of the spoon and press it down gently, and that'll get it all evened out. You want to cream 3 room temperature, and I mean room temperature, full blocks of Philadelphia cream cheese. Just cream them in here. Once it's creamed up, you can put it on low. Then we're going to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. And let that blend. And then we'll scrape it down. Now we don't want to blend it and whip a lot of air into it, because this is a dense, not a whipped cream cheese. You only want to blend it until it's together. Don't whip a lot of air into it. Make sure you scrape down the beater and scrape down the sides. Now we're going to put this on low, and we're going to add in 2 eggs, 1 at the time. 1. And when that's blended in pretty well, we'll add the second one. Just until you can't see the yolk. Then we're going to scrape down the sides and blend it again another few seconds. And finally, a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of lemon juice. And then do a final blend. We're going to scrape it down one more time. If you'd care to add a dash of salt to cut the sweetness a little bit, you can. I don't think it's that sweet, and I don't add the extra salt because I don't need the extra sodium. That's up to you, but it is in the recipe. I'm going to put that's optional, because that's totally a taste preference. It doesn't have anything to do with the way that it bakes. Now it's ready to pour in, and we just want to pour it in, and we're going to smooth it out. Once you get it in, I want you to carefully spread it and even it out, and then we're going to get it in the oven. And it should be preheated by now to 350. What I recommend, and I just baked a cheesecake with this, and you can see the butter will leach out sometimes. So I have a cookie sheet with a piece of aluminum foil that's in there, just to catch any kind of the butter drips from the cookie crust. Now I'm going to tell you a little something about this cheesecake. The one that Miss Terry sent to me, this calls for a sour cream topping. And y'all, I thought to myself, why do I want sour cream on my cheesecake? It's good. It's good. Let me tell you what to do with it. You take 1 pint, which is 2 cups of sour cream. That's the regular container of sour cream. And it will say 16 ounces. Half a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and if you want to, a pinch of salt. I don't put it. And you blend that together. And then after you have baked this at 350 for about 35 minutes, 40 minutes at the most, you make a topping, cut the oven down to 325, put that topping on it, and then bake it an additional 12 to 15 minutes. And then let it cool. And that would be a sour cream topped cheesecake. And it's delicious. But today I'm making a strawberry topped cheesecake, and I'm not going to put the sour cream on it. But that is an option, and you can try it. It's absolutely scrumptious. It is good. It's looking good. It's cooking up. And the little small ones that I'm making too, I'll tell you about that. Watch it at the end to find out about those. Now when taking these out, these baked about 34 minutes. When taking them out, they're still going to jiggle a little bit. Okay? But they should, if you'll be light to the touch, they should be very light to the touch and spring back. And the edges should start to come. The edges should start to come away from the edge. This cooked for a total of 38 minutes. The edges are starting to get a little brown, if you can see right there. And there's a mild, teeny tiny little crack. I don't count that as a full crack. And yeah, we're gonna let it sit and cool for about 2 hours. Y'all wanna see something funny? I just got to church and I figured out that I left these in my hand. I had just took that cheesecake out right before leaving church, and I brought these out in the car with me. That's crazy, isn't it? Okay, this is cooled for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And you can see that the edges have come around because we had sprayed it with Pam. I'm still going to take a flat edge, a flat plastic edge, and go around it just real gently before I take the collar off of it. And that is flat on one side. Okay, and I'm going to loosen the collar like so and pray that my luck don't start running out. There we go. I'm going to need 2 hands to get the bottom off. Y'all look at that beautiful, gorgeous cheesecake, and it did not take a water bath. So we're going to leave it on the bottom section, put it on a plate, and stick it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. The strawberry jam swirled cheesecake is cooked beautifully. Okay, I've put them on a plate, and they're just going to sit uncovered in the refrigerator a few hours. And I'm doing these as well. If you're going to leave your cheesecake on the bottom round of the springform pan, no worries. If you're going to transfer it to another dish, put down a circle of parchment paper. I had a hard time getting this off this time. I don't know why I hadn't before, but that's just a little added insurance. So now we're going to dress this cheesecake. We're going to take some of my strawberry freezer jam that is out of this world. We're going to swirl it around. And you can use a spreading knife. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut away, just cover this all, and show you what I'm going to do next. I've got a nice layer of that delicious jam on top of the cheesecake, and now I'm going to dress it with a pattern of strawberries. Let me show you. Okay, I covered the first outline with the strawberries pointing outward. Now I'm going to go inside and layer it going the opposite way in each little section. So I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Well, there it goes, folks. You can see I just kept going inside, laying them on top of each other. And finally, in the middle, I did a strawberry fan in the middle. And now we're just going to glaze them with a little bit of jam on top. Okay, so I have just barely touched the strawberries here and gotten them just a little bit glazed. And I think that's gorgeous, but we've got one more touch. I've got a little bit of extra strawberry cheesecake icing, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that to fix the edges that looked a little ragged. And there we are, folks. Just a little bit of dressing for the sides, and I think that's a cheesecake fit for the ages. What do y'all think? Miss Terry, thank you so much for this recipe. And y'all, you got to try it. It's easy. You can do this. And I encourage you to try that sour cream topping as well. I'll post the recipe in the description of the video so y'all can get it. And thank you so much. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
So that's how quickly and easily you guys can do this cheesecake. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I sure do thank y'all for watching. God bless.